What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and check out the content. So I had been meaning to make a video about this a while ago, right? And this guy Cam Thomas, I watched Cam Thomas and uh when he's with the Nets, and I was like, oh man, this guy Cam Thomas is really, really good. And I was looking forward to seeing like his game develop because even though he was good, you could see like there was some holes in his game. Sometimes his shot selection was off. His jumper needed some improvement, but I think overall though, Cam Thomas was, he was on his way. He was a really good basketball player. I think Cam Thomas needed to learn how to be more of a facilitator. As far as scoring though, Cam Thomas was, that's what he do. He's a scorer, but he needed to be able to be more of a facilitator. So when when the Nets offered him, I, I think they offered him $30 million, 2 years, $30 million, and he rejected it. I just thought that was a bad decision. And that was his first time, like the first time he was up for a contract making big money. You know, uh, I remember, and I even go back further than that, like, watching him in summer league, just trying to find a landing spot or trying to secure a position in the league, coming from there and all that hard work he did just to get to the Nets and turn down $30 million. And so Patrick Beverly spoke on it. And I thought what Patrick Beverly said about the situation made a lot of sense, man. You you have to secure that first deal. You gotta do what you gotta do to secure the deal. He did everything up until that point. He did it, he worked his way up and he played the summer NBA summer league. I'm not sure if he played. I think I did see him play in the G League. Like I said, he's playing in the summer league, and he worked his way up, and then and he gets here, and it just was a poor business decision. And in my opinion, like Cam Thomas can't blame anybody but himself. You know, um, I don't know if his agent told him to do this, but just from watching his demeanor and watching him and how he operates, it just seems like he's somebody who's stubborn and somebody who's headstrong. And that is probably what got him to this point in the league, but that also is what probably um that's probably what got him, you know, put him in a position where as though he just made this major mistake. I hope that it don't cost him. Well, it already cost him, I don't even think he's playing with nobody right now. So, but let me play the audio of what Patrick Beverly said, man, because this just was a poor business decision on Cam Thomas' part. I don't blame his entourage, his anybody. I just blame him. I blame him, not his agent. You know,
And how do you feel about Cam Thomas getting waived? This brother done lost his damn mind. Whatever money they throw at you the first time, if you're not a superstar, when I mean superstar, in that realm of all stars, you have to take what they're throwing at you first. It puts you in the algorithm of the bag. When I mean the algorithm, it shows to the NBA and to your peers that yes, I am worthy of how much did they offer him the first time? They rejected a 2-year, 30 million. Okay, the algorithm puts you at $15 million a year. That's the algorithm. If you overplay that, now the algorithm takes you up a notch. That's what getting the first bag does. You always have to secure the first bag. Cam Thomas, last 6 months, wanted $30 to $40 million from Brooklyn, rejected a 2-year, $30 million deal, signed for a 1-year, $6 million deal, waived by the Brooklyn Nets, signed to the Milwaukee Bucks on February 8th, waived by the Bucks on March 23rd. Fire your agent. Get new homies. I don't know if you got a girl, leave her too. Pat Bev.
yeah. See, yeah, I think he thought that he had more leverage than what he did. And Pat Beverly said, like, if you're not LeBron James or you're not like one of those top five, like Luca or somebody, you can't pull this kind of stuff, man. You gotta secure the bag, and once you get if he'd have took that $30 million and he said, all right, even if you believe that you're being at $30 million, if you believe that you are being underpaid, you'd be like, all right, I'm gonna take the 30 million. Then I'm gonna outplay this contract. And that's how you gain leverage. But you didn't have any leverage. He didn't have any leverage, and he failed this test majorly. So he wound up signing a deal for $6 million, and then they trade him, and then the team they trade him to cut him. So like that's just his fault. I think most people would have been like, all right, I'm gonna take this 30 mil. No way you're gonna take like I know he probably thought like, well, I'm a bet on myself, but he bet on himself and he lost. He bet on himself and basically he lost. If you're not a top five, you're not Kevin Durant or Steph Curry, then you don't hold out, or you don't you don't demand more money when you're trying to cement yourself in the league, and he just didn't have leverage, the leverage that he thought he had. And now I don't know what his agent told him, if his agent told him he had the leverage, if his agent told him that, the team needed you, which was both cases was not true. Like I said, he was at a point in his career where he was trying to he's still trying to establish himself. And so that $30 million was like a reward for the work that he put in. But it didn't say, they're like, all right, well, this is, you can't go any higher than this. He would have had to work hard and continue to prove himself. But I don't know, man. I hope that he find a place in the league. I remember who else turned down some money one time and then wound up, Isaiah Thomas, when this guy, not the Isaiah Thomas, the other Isaiah Thomas, when he was with the Boston Celtics. He turned down some money and got hurt. But I think his situation may have been a little bit different because he got hurt. But still, I just think, man, like if you're not somebody, you can't. I don't believe in gambling. Like, like if you have leverage, use it. But if you don't have leverage, then you got to go ahead, man. And I think just take what's on the table, um, work harder, get better, gain more leverage, and then you ask for more money. But if you don't have no leverage, man, and you making demands and turning down money, like you have some playoff, success under your belt, or you turning down money like you have a championship ring or something on, then this is what happens, man. This is what happened. I just thought that, and I think that everybody could see that that this guy was making a big mistake when he turned down that $30 million. You know, I don't know if he'll ever get an opportunity again in the NBA to make $30 million. Like, I don't know if he's gonna get that kind of offer, because teams now see him as somebody who is some teams think he's somebody who's hard to he's a selfish basketball player. He don't he wasn't willing to he's not a good facilitator. Like, that's what both teams wanted him to do, to be more of a facilitator. We know you can score, but now take that scoring ability that you have, draw the defense to you, and set your teammates up for easy baskets instead of you taking difficult shots. Sometimes you make them, sometimes you don't. But when you can set your teammates up for easier shots, then that's what they mean, by making your teammates better. And he didn't, he just didn't do it. Then on top of that, he demanded more money, like more than $30 million, when you wasn't even sure if you was going to be able to stick in the league. Like, he's not like a big man or nothing like that. So yeah, he messed this bag up for good. I don't know if it's for good. I just think that he messed the bag up. Hopefully he'll be able to recover from this, because he is a young basketball player, and maybe he can prove that, he can prove that he have a different mindset. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, man, I'm gonna check y'all out in the next video. Peace.